Okay, welcome to the Missouri Freedom Initiative. It's Sunday, February 13th, the day before Valentine's Day. So I got to ask all of you, do you know where your sweetheart is? I know where mine is. My wife's right here in the house, and my other sweetheart is the state of Missouri. We're going to talk about the state of Missouri tonight. We have some special guests with us. We have Jodi Grace joining us tonight, and Mvita, is that correct? And she is in South Dakota. We're going to start with Jodi tonight, though, and we're going to talk a little bit about redistricting. Let us know if you can hear us. Give us a 5x5 before we really get rolling here. If you wouldn't mind on YouTube, give us a 5x5 and let us know if you can hear us. And good evening to Johnny Cage, who's joined us on YouTube. And Voodoo Queen also. Thank you for joining us. 5x5, gang. Yeah, the Missouri redistricting has literally been, we've hit the reset apparently on it. Caleb Rowden's rubbing a lot of people the wrong way up in Jeff City. And apparently everything has fallen apart. Every negotiation from 5-3 to 6-2 to 7-1 redistricting, everything has collapsed, much like a bridge made by the federal government anywhere in the United States. Yeah, so, okay, we're getting 5x5. Sheraton Farmer has joined. Welcome, Sheraton. Okay, Jodi has spent a lot of time. Jodi Grace, I'm going to be doing a video about her this coming up week, or actually this week. So, and she has graciously joined us tonight. She's spent the last 2 weeks up in Jeff City working on redistricting, plus working with Susie Pollock on a bill to prevent vaccination centers in schools and also to stop mandates for jabs. So, Jodi, thank you for joining us tonight. Hey, what have you learned in your last 2 weeks in Jeff City?
Hey, yeah, thanks for having me. It's good to be here.
You bet.
Well, what have I learned? I don't know that I've learned much, except I know a lot more about filibustering than I did probably 2 weeks ago. I don't know. It's a really interesting time to be here. I think that, it doesn't look like we're winning, but I believe we're winning. And the longer that we hold them off, I think that's it's an amazing sign that the grassroots have really, raised their voices, and they're really powerful right now. So that makes me really happy, no matter how the map battle comes out. I think the longer this goes on, the more grassroots are kind of wake up and start taking action, because gives us more time to talk about it, honestly. And yeah, I think what's happening is that we're seeing that they don't want to deal with us being in the Capitol. There's a big rally coming up. It was supposed to be on Monday. And then they worked over the weekend, Friday and Saturday, and then decided they wouldn't come back to work until Tuesday. Well, they knew good and well that we were going to be there, and that there's actually now I don't have anything to do with this part, but there is actually a trucker convoy planning on arriving here. It was originally scheduled for Monday, but now all of our stuff is being pushed back to Tuesday along with the trucker convoy. So, we're still going to show up. They're still going to have to deal with us. And I don't know. I just think it's great. I think it just, like I said, regardless of how the map issue really turns out, the longer this goes on, we're seeing a power shift. It's about more than just the maps in my mind.
Yep. And
it's about who's controlling and who's really rising and gaining some power that we haven't had before.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Before we go forward,
I think it's awesome.
I think
it's awesome that the trucker convoy and the other groups, basically they found out that, they're not coming in until Tuesday. So, okay, we'll change our date we come in too.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And before we continue on with that, I want to let you guys know, I just put in the YouTube chat, Jodi Grace's brand new YouTube channel. So please subscribe to Jodi Grace's YouTube channel. She is going to start putting out content. She is limited like we are. She doesn't have 1,000 subscribers, so she can't go live in Jeff City. So we need to get her up to 1,000 subscribers. We need to get us up to 1,000 subscribers so we can actually do the good work up in Jefferson City. One of the things that Jodi is very, very good at is getting grassroots involved in state legislation. That's one of the beautiful things about, basically people like Jodi springing up out of nowhere, literally to do the good work, to actually, keep the state of Missouri constitutional. So please support Jodi and her efforts as well with her YouTube channel. In fact, I'm about to put it in the description of the video itself. So Jodi, one thing I did notice, is my time up in Jeff City here in the last 2 weeks, is a lot more just citizens, residents, actually participating in the process. So this is a good thing. The redistricting, I saw it originally, and this is my folly. This is a character flaw of mine. I see it as kind of a distraction from everything else that I'm trying to work on right now, but it really isn't, because at least it's getting people involved, getting people to take notice. So what are your thoughts on that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. Like I said, the bottom line, I have a lot of other issues that I feel like are probably a little more important than the map. And frankly, if we don't have solid, safe, secure elections, the map doesn't matter. And I know that. However, the map is really something that the people are rising up to rally around, because they are fed up with the liberal crap in Washington. So what the people see it as is, this link to, this is true. It's this link that we have to our representation in Washington, and we don't want to give Nancy Pelosi not one seat if we don't have to. I think that's the main thing, is that people see, the mandates, the shutdowns, all of this crap, the border issues, the Second Amendment issues, like just everything that the idiot in DC is doing. And they don't want any more of that. And we for sure as heck don't want it for the next 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that it has given the people something to rally around. And they, like I said, the longer the conversation goes on, the more we're talking about it, the more people are waking up. I've organized 3 rallies at the Capitol in the last 3 weeks, which is just ridiculous. Honestly, I'm not a rally girl, if the truth be told, but every week we have had 200 people in the building. The first week when we ousted Caruff, that was a huge win for the people. We probably had between 200 and 300 people in the building that day. So yeah, I think when we got the win with Caruff, it really energized everybody. And they're just ready. They're ready to dig in and keep fighting. And the longer this goes on, the more rallied up they get. And now they're seeing some of the shenanigans that goes on with the manipulation of the schedule and putting things off. And, it's just obvious what they're doing. And that just fuels the people's fire, honestly.
Yep, that's what I've seen too. This is a really, really good thing. Once again, gang, this is Jodi Grace. Right now on the screen, I have her YouTube channel. I have put a link both in the description of this video. You'd have to refresh your screen to get it in the description section of the live video right now, but it is in the chat. Please do subscribe. I see our subscribers ticking up. Thank you very much for subscribing to Jodi Grace. We have slightly different focuses, but you know what Jodi and I have in common? We both want freedom. We both want the Constitution. We both want, basically, Christian values. That's what we want. So we're aligned in that. I've been focused on other things, so I haven't done as much with the redistricting. So I'm very grateful for people like Jodi that is paying attention to that. Well, other people work on other things. We all do the good work. And I'm going to promote Jodi as much as possible. She's a wonderful person. I met up with her in Jeff City. Casey Rich was there with me when we saw her. So she's up there stomping the halls, gang. She's up there, talking to, Senator Eigel. She's up there talking to Moon. She's up there talking to, oh my goodness, all the representatives you were talking to. Susie Pollock, you spent time with her.
Yeah, I love Susie.
Yep, she's a great gal. And she's a real friend of the Second Amendment, too. So
yes, for sure.
So we know that from all the SEPA stuff we did. So, okay, so we know 5-3, 6-2 redistricting. We're talking about 5 Republicans 3 Democrats or 6
Yeah.
Republicans or 2 Democrats or 7 Republicans and 1 Democrat going to D.C. from the representation side. And 6-2 seemed to be the compromise. And even that fell through. Can you give us any insights on that?
Well, yeah, I don't think they want to compromise at all. You would think that that would be a compromise. And I do believe that our conservative caucus, if the moderates would actually vote on a 6-2, I believe a strong 6-2. Now I say 6-2, but they are calling what's in the bill right now. The moderates are calling that a 6-2. And the truth is it's not. And you can see that. I mean, it doesn't take you 2 seconds to see that it's not a 6-2 when you look at it. It's a 5-3. And if it's not a 5-3 this year, it will be shortly. So yeah, I believe strongly that the conservative caucus would compromise with the strong 6-2, but they refuse to accept what's in the bill right now. And the moderates are the opposite. They're refusing. Well, actually, they're not the opposite. They're refusing to compromise at all. They just want the one that's in the bill.
Okay. Can you explain to us what's in the bill that I've not read the bill, so I got to be honest with you. I've not read the bill. So please
Well,
go ahead.
yeah, I haven't read the whole bill, and I did do a tutorial, and you'll laugh because it's obvious that my technical skills are zero. But I did do a little tutorial a few minutes ago, and I threw that up in that YouTube channel. So if you're interested to go look at it, you can go look at it. But yeah, so the map that's in the bill right now has, of course, Cori Bush's district is intact. That's District 1. She's over in St. Louis. And unfortunately, we're not going to get rid of her anytime soon until they primary her out. We'll have a Democrat over there, but she's terrible. Then District 2 is not much bigger in size than District 1. It's the southern part of St. Charles County, right next to District 1. But they removed the northern part of St. Charles County. So they divided St. Charles County into District 2, and then the northern part of it went into District 3. Well, District 3 on the map is this little tiny sliver of the northern part of St. Charles County. It goes all the way over to the Mississippi River, and it basically goes all the way from there all the way over and includes Camden County, which is Lake of the Ozarks, and Camdenton. And then it includes on the southern side, it includes Jefferson County, Franklin County, Warren County, and it circles around to the southern south of St. Louis is what I'm trying to say. So it's north of St. Louis and south of St. Louis, but then in the center are these two small districts, District 1 and District 2. Then you've got District 5, which is another small, tiny district over in Kansas City. So that one is going to be Democrat. Then you're going to have District 1, that's Democrat already. And District 2, what they're going to tell you is, well, St. Charles is very conservative. It's Republican. Well, St. Charles is very conservative, but when you divide it like that and you leave the southern portion into the portion that's closer to the city, all on its own, if there is a district on that map that is going to be quote unquote overwhelmed with Democrat population, it's going to be District 2. And then you've got this gerrymandered District 3 that's the northern part of St. Charles County, south of St. Louis, and then all the way over to and including Camden County.
Wow.
That's the map that's in the bill right now. So it's very clear that there will be District 1 and District 5 are already Democrat, and then that District 2, that St. Charles County that they divided, if it's not Democrat now, it will be soon. So there's no way you could call that a 6-2. It's very, very weak. It is, to me, I can look at it and tell you it's a 5-3. And to me, that's just unacceptable. To lose a seat is just unacceptable to me.
Yep.
So if it was a strong 6-2, a 6-2 that they knew they could hold the 6 seats, I'm confident with 100% certainty that the caucus would compromise. But for whatever the reason, the moderates are unwilling. And I say whatever the reason, but the truth is, it's leadership. It's people wanting to secure their territory. Emmanuel Cleaver, Blaine Luetkemeyer, Ann Wagner. So, and all the politics of it. When you have people who were just bought like these men and women are. I mean, I think that's just what you're dealing with,
Yep.
Yeah, it's okay. Why is this doing this?
Well, in this particular instance, since we're back to the drawing board, has the bill been revoked? Are they actually looking at amending or actually withdrawing the bill and submitting a new one for the redistricting? Do you know?
Well, it's interesting when you look at the bill page and you go back and look what happened to it through the House.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they've offered up probably 20 different amendments on this bill.
Okay.
Each map they discuss is actually considered an amendment. So there was an amendment offered in the Senate this past week. Eigel was the first one to bring it up. He brought up the 7-1 map, and of course it lost by something like 8-24. And then they started filibustering. Interestingly enough, the Black Caucus, which is all African-American Democrats, helped them filibuster.
Yep.
Which I find just hilarious, but that's how it went. And so they did make a deal with Roberts. I believe it was Roberts, that they would adjust one of the lines. I don't know which one, but they felt like they could, compromise with them, adjust one of the lines. And so Roberts did offer that amendment and helped the conservatives filibuster for a while. And oddly enough, then Rowden offered up an amendment to Roberts' amendment. So we had an amendment, and then we had an amendment to the amendment. And when they voted on that altogether, it passed because it was Rowden's. But then Roberts withdrew. So they actually did pass Rowden's amendment, but then Roberts withdrew it because it was actually an amendment to his amendment. So it got kind of crazy. It's really been, if it weren't so serious, it would be comical,
Silent Edict is asking you, Jodi, on the YouTube chat, does the Black Caucus support 7-1?
No, vehemently they do not.
But they help to filibuster.
Go
ahead.
Right? I mean, it's a tell that the Democrats want the bill that's in the bill now. The Democrat wants the what the moderates are calling 6-2, but it's a 5-3. The Democrats want the bill that's in the map that's in the bill right now. They are vehemently opposed to the 7-1.
Yep.
So that should tell us something, right? If the Democrats want it, then we probably shouldn't.
Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of activity on YouTube, guys. I'll get to all of your stuff here real quick. But Rhino76 says, if Missouri ever turns blue, I'll move out in a heartbeat. I don't see that happening with our state in our lifetime. This is representation to the federal government, and frankly, 5-3 doesn't necessarily mean it'll forever be 5-3. But there are interesting ideas that we've had in the past. We've talked in our podcasts about to prevent the Senate from falling into the quagmire that the big blue states like California and New York have fallen into. And that's to do a constitutional amendment in the state of Missouri to have senators represent land and not population, much like the federal government does. So you have the House of Representatives in the state of Missouri representing a certain amount of, population wise. And then you have like 3 counties per senator. And then that would take care of the problem with the growing populations in Kansas City and St. Louis, the real blue areas. And we have to worry about that because we do have Californians and people from Illinois and others moving to Missouri, getting out of, the issues that they have in their states. So that is something we have to keep in mind. But that would take a constitutional amendment. That would take a petition to put on the ballot. I don't think that's something we can get done through legislation.
No, not this year.
Well, yeah, I mean, just the general process, but definitely not this year. This is going to be a very interesting year, Jodi. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. All right. We'll be lucky to get anything accomplished. Frankly, they'll have to do the budget. That's the only thing that they're required to do. So they'll be forced to do the budget. And beyond that, they're not forced to take up the map Tuesday or whatever, but it is in the Constitution that it is the legislature that has the sole responsibility of drawing the federal congressional map. They cannot, I think it's a confusing point because there are 3 different maps being drawn up right now, right? There's the state House of Representatives district map, and then there's the state Senate maps, and then we have the federal congressional map. And these federal congressional maps are handled completely different than the state maps. This federal congressional map, the courts have no jurisdiction in drawing it up. It is the sole responsibility of the legislature. Nobody else can do it. It's never been done by the court before, and they don't have any jurisdiction. It's not constitutional for them to do it. That's shown in a Supreme Court. Well, it was actually a federal court ruling. I don't have it in front of me, and I can't quote it for you. But there is no court precedence ever in history that shows the court drawing up this congressional map. It is the sole responsibility of the legislature. Now, when they draw the map, when they finally do it and it's approved, when it's voted through, then of course you could expect for somebody to take it to court, and the court will say it's constitutional or it's not constitutional. But that's really the only way that the court gets involved in this particular map. So as far as session goes, they have to do the budget and they really have to do the map. It's their responsibility to do it. And beyond that, they don't have to do anything else.
Yep. Yeah. So
I hope they do, because there are some things I would love to see accomplished, but they don't have to.
So where do you see us going forward? Do you think they're going to revisit this soon, or they're taking a break? Is this like a 1 or a 2 week break, or is this a break for the weekend for Lincoln Days up in St. Charles?
Well, they missed the Lincoln Days. They worked Friday and Saturday.
Oh, they did miss it. Okay.
Yeah. They called them back into session. Rowden sent an email late Thursday afternoon, told them they'd be in session on Friday morning, and then again on Saturday. So there were a couple of them, and he was just kind of sneaky about that. He only kept them there for about an hour, not for long. They didn't get anything accomplished. He was really just messing with everybody's schedule. He wanted to upset the apple cart. He knew that there was a group of conservative citizens that were supposed to rally over there called the No-Mo Rhinos. They have a Telegram channel. Have you seen them before?
I have not. I've not heard of them.
Yeah, though they have a Telegram channel, and they were going to have a rally over there that the conservatives were going to speak at. And I really think that Rowden and Schatz just didn't want to deal with the people, over there. So they kept them Friday and Saturday. Everybody missed Lincoln Days. Now, I was told, and I cannot verify this information, but it's kind of the rumor going around that after they were finished on Friday night, Rowden and Schatz flew over there with a computer that had map drawing software on it, and they sat down with Ann Wagner and Blaine Lukemeyer. So that's very interesting. But yeah, but then they came back and they worked on Saturday, didn't get anything accomplished, and then decided that they wouldn't go back to work until Tuesday. And now Caleb has posted that they're not going to deal with this issue. So who the heck knows? You know, he could very well bring it up again, hoping. You just can't trust the guy. So
well, he's a floor leader. He can do whatever he wants, whenever he wants, for bringing this back to the table.
Yeah, it might just be on a whim. I think honestly that they're probably hoping that the grassroots will go home and take a break.
Yep.
And I just got to tell you, the grassroots, I don't think they're going to go home and forget about it.
Yep.
They're scared. They're shaking. Yeah, and they need to be.
I think so.
Yep. Well, so basically it's anyone's guess when we're going to revisit that redistricting issue up in Jefferson City, but it's probably going to be sooner than later.
I would think so, because, the filing period, unless the Secretary of State adjusts the filing period, filing is supposed to start next week.
Yep, that's right.
So everybody will be freaked out if they don't get something done with it, Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something
March 1st is the last day to file anything.
Yeah.
I think it's March 29th to file for the primaries.
I think that's right. That's the end date.
I'm talking about legislature.
Oh, yeah. State legislature is March 1st. Right. That is correct. What Jodi was referring to, for those who are listening, was the end date for filing to basically run for office in the state of Missouri. So, so at any rate, it's a quagmire. It's a mess. But you know what, Jodi? We're learning a lot, aren't we? We're learning.
We are.
Basically who we can trust, who we can't trust, who's a snake in the grass, and who's actually a true conservative. We're learning all of this stuff, aren't we?
Yep. I actually think it's a great thing. I mean, I don't know how the map's going to turn out, and like I said, I do care, but to me, that's not the primary benefit to all of this. The primary benefit is that just the people are rising up. They're really raising their voices. They're rallying, and the rallies are getting bigger and bigger. And we're going to go ahead and do the rally on Tuesday, and the truckers are going to come anyway.
Oh, the truckers are coming to Jeff City. That's not just a rumor.
Not just a rumor. It is happening.
The trucker convoy is coming through the country. They're working their way to D.C.
Yep. They're going to stop in Jeff City. So that's what day? Tuesday?
Tuesday. They're supposed to arrive. Now, I don't really know if it's part of the thing that's happening all across the country to DC, but there is a convoy they're expecting at least about 200 trucks, and it's supposed to arrive around 10 o'clock. Mm-hmm. They've got a parking lot across the river from the Capitol. And they're coming, even though Caleb is rattling on, and, they're coming anyway. And our rally on the inside of the Capitol is going to start at noon on Tuesday. We're going to pray and sing some hymns and have some prayer and inspiration. And then at 1 o'clock, the senators are going to speak. And I'm expecting a few hundred people to be in the building. I believe, I shouldn't say that because I'm not sure what the trucks are going to actually do, but I'm kind of hoping they have a truck parade around the Capitol, That
would be nice.
Yeah.
Yep. Block off all the traffic.
Yeah, I mean, it'll clog it up. I hope that nothing, I just want everything to stay peaceful and safe.
Oh,
but
sure.
It will definitely clog up traffic for sure.
Do you think you can't find a place to park up there now? Wait till those trucks get up there.
Yep. Yeah. Going to be honking their horns, making a lot of noise.
You might as well just drive them around a circle with them.
Yep. So, and then we'll be in the Senate gallery, and whatever they do, they do. So, and then we're just going to have I really think we're going to try to organize a presence to be there every day that they're in session for a while.
Okay.
I just really hope that those truckers that make it to DC do the same thing there that they did to Ottawa.
The same thing they done to Ottawa. You're talking about the Canada trucker
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah.
Yep.
I hope they do the same thing.
Well, I don't think we're going to get that many. I meant, what is that? 50
No,
miles?
I'm talking about DC.
Oh, in
general.
DC. Yeah. Okay.
They need to block up and congest DC to the point where it's completely useless.
Mm-hmm.
Get Biden to flee the country.
Well, I'll tell you what, a 50-mile convoy going through Missouri will get mentioned by the mainstream media. There's no way they can avoid that.
Oh yeah,
that would be
they
nice.
Can bury it if it doesn't look good to them.
Yeah, well, they can try, but everyone will see it.
Mm-hmm.
So all it does is, basically further condemn the mainstream media for not covering the stories that people care about. So, and which is what they're really good at. Well, Jodi, thank you very much for all your insights on redistricting and what's going on. And thank you for all your work up in Jeff City on that. Like I said, I've seen you up in Jeff City, but, I've been working on other things up there.
Yeah, I know. Well, just like you said, there's too much for anybody to do all of it. So we have to divide and conquer. And you wouldn't want me working on Second Amendment stuff. I promise you that. I support you and I love what you're doing, but that's not my wheelhouse, and I wouldn't. Lord only knows what I would do.
Yep. So that's why it's so great. And basically we're going to promote you as well, because you're working on other things that we're not focused on right now, but we definitely believe in. And but the redistricting is extremely important. It's just, there's several things that I have to work on up there that are different.
I know.
And I'm working with Ron.
But I love to see you when you come, regardless. It's always enjoyable.
Oh yeah. It's always great to visit with you, Jodi.
Yeah.
So thank you again. And you're welcome to stay and everything. We also have another special guest from Pennsylvania. Or I'm sorry, from South Dakota, which we're going to introduce in a second here. But the redistricting goes forward, guys, and we will report on what's going on. And Jodi, if you don't mind, if you wouldn't mind, if I can do it, are you going to be there late Tuesday night? Are you going to do a Facebook mention video on Tuesday night after everything's over and said and done with up there?
Well, we'll just have to see how it goes. I would love to do that. It just kind of depends if they're filibustering. I might end up, I spent the entire night up there one night last week. So I will do my best. You just never know what's going to happen. So it's hard to plan.
I'll tell you what, the 3 years that I've really spent a lot of time up in Jeff City, this is year number 4, and this is the craziest.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad last year. So,
no, not
but
like
you know
this.
what, though? It's exciting. I love seeing residents getting involved in the process. You know,
there was even several people there. I mean, not hundreds, but there's probably 30 people in the building. I mean, citizens in the building on Saturday.
Yeah.
Some of them drove in from St. Louis. Some of them drove in from Kansas City.
Yep.
So it's good.
Yep. So, it's just marvelous that people care enough. And I love this state. I mean, shoot, I've got a Missouri flag in the background. I don't know if you guys can see that. I used to drape it over one of my bookshelves, but I did get a flag stand for it. I love this state. And one of the things that I really love about this state is actually Jodi Grace. And I'm going to be putting out a special standalone video about Jodi later on this week. So you guys watch for that. Jodi Grace just sprang up out of nowhere and is making a difference in Jefferson City. So I don't want to hear anyone say that one person can't make a difference. Jodi is living proof of that. And so, please do subscribe to her channel. I'm going to go ahead and put it in the live chat on YouTube again. You guys, if you check the description section down below in the video, it is now mentioned, so you can find the link there. But let's give Jodi some love, because she's doing the good work up in Jeff City, just like we're doing. We're just focused on slightly different things, but it's all in the cause of freedom, the Constitution, and liberty.
Yeah.
And the more groups we have, the better. And we need to support one another
absolutely. Too. Yes, 100%.
So Jodi,
thank you for all that you're doing, because we need for you to stay in this fight. Those of us who aren't really paying attention to that. When I go to my dad's house, we target shoot and stuff like that. And I've got boys that hunt and all that type of stuff. Personally, I like to shoot too. I just haven't ever spent a lot of time doing that. So, but the Second Amendment, important to me too. even though that's not a huge, big focus, I've never felt like I needed to worry about it. Probably because I'm not nearly as educated as you are, but thank you. I guess, Patrick, is what I'm trying to say. Thank you and you guys for doing all that you do, because I know that it takes an incredible amount of time, effort, and energy. And, that's one of those things the majority of us aren't paying attention to. And if we didn't have people like you taking care of it, that's something that we could very well lose. And we don't want that. It's so important. So thank you so much for what you're doing.
You bet. And one thing I want to mention is I'm just a guy with a YouTube channel. It's all the people making phone calls, sending emails, and visiting Jeff City. They're the ones who are actually making the difference. So I'm more or less basically just educating the people the best I can based on the bills, that hit the Second Amendment and other things too. We're very much into Susie Pollock's bill, even though we haven't done a video on it in 2 weeks. We're going to be revisiting that soon, but also too, we're waiting for one more bill to come out from Ben. And so
from Ben Baker.
That's correct. And that should be coming
a Second Amendment bill?
Nope. This is we'll watch our words because we're on YT, but it's the anti-beer flu tyranny bill. And it's all inclusive. Actually, if Ben puts out the bill, Susie's bill is redundant because Ben's bill covers much more than forced jabs in indoctrination centers. It covers much more. And so at any rate, but it's not been released yet this year, but he did have it out last year, and it was supposed to be going in front of the Senate right after SEPA last year. But of course the Democrats...
That's the one that they tanked right at the end of this.
Correct.
Was it the one that we really wanted instead of SB 51?
That is correct. That's it.
Yeah, I can't remember the number on it.
No, I don't remember the number either, but it was critically important, and it was slated right after SEPA. But, of course, John Rizzo shut down the Senate in Missouri after SEPA got passed in protest.
Yeah. So you think Ben's going to try to file that one again?
Yes, I've heard that he's going to file it again. I've heard it from a reputable source. We're just waiting for it. We have until March 1st. And then there's possibly another bill that we may or may not have had something to do with that will be coming up pretty soon too. And we're not going to talk about it until it materializes. We're working on it very hard. And but we'll make an announcement if that one can get out this year.
Yeah.
And
Susie's bill is something that I hope actually gets through this year, and it is broader than just COVID. So and it does, it's good, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, but Susie's bill would actually help with preventing the jab centers in public schools that the federal government wants to set up. Yep, the $1.9 billion left over from the CARES Act, they're trying to give to Missouri as long as they set up jab centers in public schools. It's insidious. It's wrong. Ron Calzone is at the forefront of that one right now. We're not even working on that right now. Ron is on top of that.
If Ron's on top of it, it's taken care of.
Yep, that's right. Well, so I just, mentioned Jodi Grace and her organization. Let me mention Ron Calzone with MissouriFirst.org, another organization we all need to be participating with and following. He does an enormous amount of good work up in Jeff City. Those of you who have been up to Jeff City probably met him because he was the leader of the SEPA battle. He was the general of the SEPA battle. And I know a lot of other people wanted to take that title. I'm not going to talk about that much anymore, though. I'm not trying to tear people down. Other people tried to take that title, but it was Ron that was doing this from day one. Ron, who with his attorney wrote up the original legislation that is still being used in other states today, what we call SEPA, the Second Amendment Preservation Act. And we're going to get to that in just a second here with a special guest we have from South Dakota. And again, Jodi, feel free to stay with us for the rest of the program. But thank you so much for joining and lending your insights as to all your work here in the last 2 weeks with redistricting.
Yeah, thanks.
You bet. Okay, now we'd like to bring on Mavoida from South Dakota, who is working SEPA-like legislation in South Dakota. And since Casey Rich is with us, we need to make sure that she knows about Casey Rich's new YouTube channel, SEPA Central. And I hate to bring up your channel right now, Casey Rich, and everything, but you've got a pretty exciting idea, and it's something that you're passionate about, and that's spreading the SEPA legislation all over the United States of America. And God bless you for that, by the way. Welcome to Mavoida. How are you doing tonight?
Hey, I'm good. You can just call me Michaela.
Okay.
So yeah, in South Dakota, we have House Bill 1052. It's similar to SEPA. It doesn't have quite the
teeth
repercussions. Yeah. So it's only like Caleb said earlier, it's only $1,000 fine for violating this, and it is just no state agency, political subdivision, or elected or appointed official can aid in enforcing federal mandates or helping federal agencies. And it was first heard on the 26th of January, and then that's in the Judiciary Committee of the House, and then they deferred it to the 14th, which is tomorrow. And I work with Young Americans for Liberty. I have a chapter here, a local chapter here, and the Rapid City chapter is actually planning on being there for that tomorrow.
Okay.
So they'll hear that and get to testify with that and share stories with that.
Okay. Young Americans for Liberty. Do you mind if I ask, I hate to get real personal, but do you mind if I ask your age? How old are you?
23.
23, and you were involved in state politics. That's a
Somewhat.
rarity. That's a rarity.
Just as a grassroots activist type person. And I just started the Young Americans for Liberty. It's a community chapter because I'm not in college, but community chapter here in my hometown, 2 months ago.
Okay.
And before that, last year, I started, it's called Prairie Patriots. It's kind of a statewide thing, along with there's some chapters in Minnesota and Nebraska also, but that's more of kind of like a prepper group, but we get involved in politics also, and that was why I got into the Young Americans for Liberty side of it too.
Okay, gotcha. Wonderful. Okay, so tell us a little more about 1033. Is that a Senate bill or a House bill?
1052. Yep, House Bill 1052.
Okay, House Bill 1052. Okay, so that is out of committee now, and they're working to get it schedule it some floor time. Is that correct?
It is in the Judiciary Committee.
Okay,
it's going to be
committee.
heard. Yep,
okay.
Heard in the Judiciary Committee.
Will you be visiting the House when they actually have the House hearing? Or I'm sorry, the committee hearings on those?
I'm not going to be able to make it, but I will have firsthand recount from the YAL members that will be there.
Okay, gotcha. Fantastic. Do you know if there's any grassroots organization supporting that bill besides yours?
Not that I've heard of.
Okay.
Yeah, I know YAL's the big one pushing it, and the guy that introduced it, Aaron Elward, he's actually a member of YAL and is involved in that. So that was pretty cool. We got him elected, and he's already pushing for stuff for us.
Okay. Fantastic. So you're getting attention. There is some traction there. So
yeah.
So basically, I'll tell you what. Casey, our very own Casey Rich, is doing SEPA Central, a YouTube channel that's dedicated to looking at SEPA legislation in all states, not just Missouri. Whereas our organization, the Missouri Freedom Initiative, is really more focused just on Missouri. But we definitely want other states having SEPA. That we don't want it all to ourselves. We want to spread the love. We want everyone to have this freedom. So
absolutely.
So basically, I would strongly recommend that basically we get a conversation started between you and KC, so he can get information out there on his channel, and we'll promote his channel as well. So basically, and it's a South Dakota bill, KC, that she's working with. 1052.
I'm trying to look it up right now.
I actually just stuck a screenshot of it in the Discord chat.
Okay, thank you.
It's literally a one-page bill, so it's the whole page.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Yep, it's there you go. I see it right there, Casey. Wonderful. Okay, good deal. So, yeah, even South Dakota, and Iowa's moving forward, South Dakota's moving forward, and I think there's another state where they're having committee hearings too. And gosh,
Pennsylvania.
Thank you, Pennsylvania.
Of all places, Pennsylvania.
Yep, and that's what I got mixed up mentally. because actually I said, that Michaela was from Pennsylvania, because I had Pennsylvania on my mind with SEPA, their SEPA legislation. Yep. So there we go. We got to start paying attention to and doing what we can to help out the state of South Dakota.
Who is the legislator that's introducing this bill or sponsoring this bill?
Aaron Allward.
And he's on the House side?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Bookmark it and come back to it later.
Yep. And I'll tell you what, for you guys out there, let me get KC Rich's new channel up for you guys, SEPA Central. And I'll put it in the YouTube chat.
Just started, guys. Not a lot on there yet, but that's going to change.
I need to be adding more to my channel. Just with everything going on, it's been hard getting anything up.
That's what makes it hard to do. We're chasing all these bills and everything, and then you got to try and run a channel and stuff.
Well, we're going to be moving over about 25 miles of that away soon. So I got to pack up this office. My office is temporarily going to go in my vehicle with that new Expedition. But then I'll actually leave a portion of it in there, because going to Jeff City, I can have a mobile office and interview station. So.
Yep, there we go. It's in the YouTube chat now. That's KC Rich's new channel, SEPA Central. So please give it a subscribe and like the videos. And KC is literally, thank you for what you do, KC. I know we focus on Missouri here in this group, but you've always been about making sure that SEPA legislation gets to other states as well. And you've said that from day one. And here you are proving what you'd say, you would do. So thank you very much for that.
Anybody should be able to drive anywhere in this country and not have to worry about, gun rights, gun registration, or anything like that.
Yep.
It shall not be infringed from coast to coast and border to border.
Yep, and the SEPA legislation is the best thing we have going. There's nothing else quite like it.
We have to take it back state by state. The feds are too far gone.
Yep, and it's the benchmark for whether or not a politician is literally Second Amendment friendly, or basically a Second Amendment friend, is SEPA legislation. 1052.
Okay.
House Bill 1052.
Yeah, I'm trying to navigate this right now.
Yep, and make sure it's 2022, because I'm sure the numbers are redesignated every year, just like they are in Missouri.
I got dyslexic and hit 1025. Let me try it again.
My computer crashed again, so I have to deal with that.
And thank you very much, everyone, for saying you subscribe to Casey's channel. Thank you for subscribing to Jodi Grace. She is working on very important stuff that we're not as focused on, because, like I said, it's tough for us to guys, there's 1,700 pieces of legislation in the state of Missouri right now. 1,700 bills. It'd be impossible for our group to follow everything. Ron's following certain stuff that we're not following quite as closely. Same thing with Jodi Grace. We're doing our own thing here that they may not be following quite as closely. So, the more grassroots organizations you have, the better. And Michaela's a great example of that. A 23-year-old that is literally interested in not only getting involved in politics, but Second Amendment rights. That's pretty rare to find a 23-year-old to do that. So, Michaela is clearly a diamond in the rough in South Dakota. What we got to do is help her basically get a grassroots movement going to get that bill through this year. It's important to get it done this year as things continue to get worse. And what I'm talking about, go ahead.
I got a couple of questions for Michaela, if that's all right.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. First of all, when is the deadline for filing a bill up there in South Dakota this year?
I'm not. I would have to look that up. I'm not sure. I know South Dakota has a really short period for the legislation to even be in session.
Yeah.
That ends, I think, I want to say like April or May, I think. Let me look that up quick. And
Yeah,
they actually
ours ends
go
in
ahead.
May too. So
Sure.
Okay. Yep, I've got it right up on the screen. This is what Caleb put in the chat. Thank you very much, Caleb. So it's House Bill 1052, and it's a 2022 bill. So, Kayla, let me ask you a question real quick about the South Dakota legislature. Is it a part-time legislature where they only meet like 6 months out of the year and then they take a 6-month break?
Yes.
Okay, just like ours. Okay. Yep. So basically, you guys have until probably May 15th or so to get this bill through. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Yep. Now we know about it, so we can do what we can to help you grow your grassroots movement. So you're a chapter of I'm sorry, what's the organization again?
Yep. Young Americans for Liberty.
Young Americans for Liberty. Okay, gotcha. And Young Americans for Liberty is helping out your chapter, right? By helping to spread the word that there is a chapter now in your area?
Yep.
Excellent. Okay, is this your signature bill? Is this the first bill that you guys are supporting with your chapter?
Yeah, my chapter hasn't really even like officially formed and supported it. I've just been in contact with and working with the Rapid City chapter leader.
Okay.
And the one that we're actually going to be focusing on personally within our chapter is one that has to do with possession of a firearm and possession of marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
They want to make that. Caleb actually shared that with me.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. I'll tell you what, Michaela, one more thing. I hate to have you do a bunch of homework, but for the legislators that you are working with to get your SEPA bill done, the Truth, Money, and Freedom podcast, which is another channel we run, which is 2 years worth of SEPA data that we were getting it done in the state of Missouri. All the crap we were dealing with, all the arguments that were being put forth against SEPA, we covered all that on that channel. So if you guys want a crystal ball and be able to see into the future of what the other side, more specifically the Democrat Party and the moderate Republicans, will throw against you on SEPA, it will definitely be covered in that channel. So it's the Truth, Money, and Freedom podcast on YouTube. So we not as much content goes on anymore because we started this new one here to dedicate to Missouri. But literally just all you have to do is peruse that channel and look for any titles that have the word SEPA in it. And we had stuff going on with SEPA. We also covered live hearings from the Senate and from the House for SEPA. And so some of those podcasts are really long. But in the House is live video. The Senate, we just have audio. So consider that a resource.
Yeah. I'll definitely have to check that out. Yeah.
Yep. So, but at any rate, yeah. Casey Rich will bone up on everything that's going on with this particular bill in South Dakota, and I'm sure he'll be starting to put videos out about it. So basically let people in your group know about his channel, and then basically he can let everyone know about your guys' group. So that way we can network that way to help push that SEPA legislation through, the South Dakota legislature.
yeah, how long are you going to hang around tonight? Because usually after the show's over here, we'll hang out in the chat here for another 30 minutes or so. Maybe we can get information or something. That way we can stay in contact. And, if something comes up, piece of information you want to give out, I could take it and, put it on my channel.
Yeah, I'll be here for a little bit. I guess I'm not sure how much longer you guys are gonna go, but I'm probably gonna have to get kids put to bed here before too long too. But I'll be around. Yep. I'll be around on Discord or whatever. So.
Gotcha. We'll probably be ending this here, probably in the next, I would say, roughly about 5-10 minutes. So hey, we have Rebel Cry with us with video. No, is that Rebel Cry or?
It is.
Okay, gotcha. Fantastic. Good deal.
Yeah, where I am usually I can't do video recording, so I'm in a good spot tonight.
Okay, gotcha. So you're in law enforcement or are you security?
Security, definitely not law enforcement.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
I can't blame you there.
Well, it's nice to finally see you, man. And Mind Your Liberty has just joined us as well. So, gang, we're going to wrap it up here pretty quick. I want to thank you for all the comments up here. I know Latanya had mentioned me running for office. That's not in the cards for me. Thank you very much for thinking of that. I think I can do a lot more, in the grassroots side than I ever could as a politician. So I think
more damage from here.
Yeah. And so that's the plan anyway, is just basically to get the grassroots, making sure that our Second Amendment rights are always protected, the Constitution is always followed, and that we literally point out the unconstitutionality of any bills and any politicians up in Missouri. It doesn't matter, even if they're Republicans. If you guys read the mission statement of this organization, we are a not right-left paradigm group. We don't buy into it. We care about the United States Constitution, the Missouri Constitution, Christian values, low taxes, get rid of property taxes. Property rights are very important to us. We're pro-life. Basically Christian values. And, the founding fathers. That's what we're all about here on this channel. So that's, I think, doing that in an organization and getting people involved in their state politics with those values, I think has extreme value. And these grassroots are popping up all over the state of Missouri, and it's beautiful. It's wonderful. I'll promote Jodi Grace. I see her working up in Jeff City, working hard. She's up there a lot. She's up there more than I am. She lives real close, though. For me, it's 3 hours or so just to get up to Jeff City. But I really appreciate you guys thinking of, basically for politics and everything. I just don't think that's in the cards for me. I don't think I'm really built for that. But at any rate, you guys now are updated a little bit. State of SEPA. Someone had asked, where is SEPA in the state of Missouri? Okay, let me say real quick here. I went up to Jeff City for the hearings. KC went up as well, and we got to see the Supreme Court hearings. And right now we're waiting for the Supreme Court to rule on whether or not they consider the SEPA legislation unconstitutional or against the 10th Amendment. And frankly, they're not going to be able to. So right now, SEPA is still safe. As far as pieces of legislation currently in the Missouri legislature to weaken SEPA, those are I don't want to, I'm a superstitious guy. I don't want to tell you that those are DOA and they're not going anywhere, but that's what it looks like. Okay? We'll continue to follow that. Ron is feeding me data on that. So right now, we just don't have any issues with bills right now. As far as the police chiefs union, the police chiefs association, actually going up against SEPA or wanting to change SEPA, that is an issue, but I think they're waiting for what the Supreme Court's going to say before they press forward. So we got really nothing to fight on there right now, other than exposing the police chiefs that want SEPA legislation changed or watered down or eliminated. And Casey, Rich, and I are working on something where we're going to talk a little bit more about the people and the organizations that are trying to fight our beloved SEPA law in the state of Missouri. And so that will be forthcoming in the next, guys, I hate to give myself a deadline on that because it would take some editing and everything. I'd say within about 2 weeks, maybe we'll have a video put out about that. So that's something that we are working on. And once again, we do everything we can, but we're just one group and, we can't focus on 17 items at once. It's just too difficult. So we're very grateful for all the other grassroots that pop up. We seem to be a little more Second Amendment oriented than most other groups, but, that's okay. That way, we handle that for them, for Jodi Grace's group, for the pro-lifers who are also very much for gun rights. So we all complement one another. But I want to thank you all for joining us tonight. I think we're going to go ahead and end it here, and we're going to continue talking in our Discord group here for about the next half an hour. So if you guys want to come into our Discord, the link is right down below in the description section. Please do come into our Discord group, and we'll continue chatting there. We'll let our hair down and talk about the things that the big old YT won't let us talk about. So, yep, because Big Brother is out there. So once again, I want to acknowledge all of you guys who came and joined us in on Super Bowl night. On Super Bowl night, you guys came in. God bless you. I know a lot of
No,
people.
Super Bowl is when the Chiefs and the Bills played.
Yeah.
Don't
So it's
count.
not true. It's
Rest don't count.
it's not a Super Bowl. It's a mediocre bowl night, is what it is.
There you go.
It's a rigged
So who
bowl.
cares? So who cares? Yeah, it's a rigged bowl.
Yep. So
You saw that stuff circulating around.
and Tribulation
Probably
Prepper
something
is with us. Latanya King had put several things up there. Xavier's with us tonight. Let's see. Patriot Pearl, Voodoo Queen, Rhino 76. Let's see. Johnny Cage. Let's see. And gosh, I'm probably missing a bunch of people here, but thank you all for joining us tonight. We do appreciate it. And guys, we're still working for our beloved state of Missouri. We're doing everything we can to keep everyone as free as possible, to make sure that they always have their freedoms and that their kids will enjoy the same freedoms that their parents had. That's very important to us here with our organization. Thanks again for joining. You guys all have a pleasant evening. Remember, we'll still be here in Discord for the next half an hour. So come on in and join us. The water's warm. You guys all have a wonderful evening. May God bless each and every one of you.